Number 17. By road, it's 670 miles from Bonners Ferry to Preston. Laura leaves Preston at 8 a.m. and begins driving at an average speed of 64 miles per hour towards Bonners Ferry. Phil leaves Bonners Ferry at 10 a.m. and begins driving towards Preston at an average speed of 60 miles per hour. How far from Preston are they when they meet? To the nearest mile. So let's draw a picture here, because this is a lot of information and it's just nice to have it all right in front of you. So it says, by road, it's 670 miles from Bonners Ferry to Preston. Seems like those are the only two cities, or only two places that are in question. So I'll call this B, and this is P, and along here, this is 670 miles. This is 670 miles. So Laura leaves Preston at 8 a.m., so here at 8 a.m., and drives at 64 miles per hour. Let's see, and then Phil leaves Bonners Ferry at 10 a.m. and begins driving towards Preston at an average speed of 60 miles per hour. So this is at 10 a.m. at 60 miles per hour. And we want to know how far from Preston are they when they meet. So, or in other words, how far has, okay, who is this? This is Laura. And this is Phil. So in other words, how far does Laura drive before they meet? So we can set up an equation here just using the formula distance equals rate times time. So if you think about it, once they meet, the total distance Laura has driven plus the total distance that Phil has driven would have to be equal to 670 miles. So the distance that Laura has driven would be 64 miles per hour times the number of hours. So I'm going to call that 64h. And then the distance that Phil has driven would be 60 miles per hour times that number of hours minus 2, because he's driven for 2 fewer hours because he left 2 hours later. And together, that's equal to 670 miles. So if we just solve this equation real quick, I'm just going to distribute out the 60. So this is going to be plus 60h minus 120 equals 670. If I combine like terms, you get 124h equals 120 plus 670, that's 790. So h is 790 over 124. 790 over 124, and that's 6.371 hours. 6.371 hours. And so that's the time that Laura has driven. And if she's going at 64 miles an hour, to find the distance until she gets to the meetup point, you just have to multiply that time by 60, or by 64 rather. She goes at 64 miles an hour. Take this, multiply by 64, and to the nearest mile, that's 408 miles. 408 miles. All right, so if you have any questions from other tests, make sure to leave a comment and I'll make a video with the solution. With that said, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. This has been Investigative Math, and I'll see you next time.